everyone, it's Eliza McNamara here to talk to you about why it's better to work for yourself. When you work for somebody else, you can't do what you want, you have to do what they want you to do, and you're growing their organisation, you're growing their business. But when you work for yourself, you're growing yourself, you're growing your entity, you're growing your list, and it's far more fun, because if you're an internet marketer and you want to succeed and you want to grow your list, you can grow your list through article marketing, through forum marketing, through video marketing, through email marketing, by calling through lead lists. The possibilities are endless. Whereas if you're working for somebody else, let's say you were to work for a company doing SEO, which is search engine optimization, you would get paid, let's say, $20 an hour. Whereas if you do it for yourself, you can get paid a heck of a lot more. Also, when you work for yourself, you don't have to deal with office politics. I hear so many stories every single day of people who have been sacked, not because they've done something wrong, but because people in their office are saying things about them which are or are not true. Because when you've got people in an office environment together, they're not all friends. They haven't chosen to be together. They haven't chosen to be friends or to be in a relationship. They're not around each other because they want to be around each other, but because they have to be around each other. And so people have to suppress what they really think and what they really feel. And this creates antagonism. And this builds and builds and builds. And what tends to happen is you get people in the office who all get on, whereas you get other people who don't tend to get on, who don't fit into the group. And if they don't fit into that group, then they end up feeling like outsiders. And generally the group tends to be the people who will drink and smoke and do all of the things that the people who are called straight wouldn't do. Whereas if you work for yourself, you can eat healthily, you can go for a run in the morning, you can think what you want, you can say what you want, as long as you get the work done. Also, what I find is when I work around other people, I don't get as much work done, and I think that's the same for everybody. Because when you work around other people, you're distracted by them. They might ask you a question, they might make a joke. Anything they do will be a distraction. Whereas if you're just working at home on your own, you will get far more done because there's nothing there to distract you. And did you know it takes 20 minutes after being distracted to get your attention and your focus back, to get back to that state that you were in when you were producing results and getting things done quickly. Another thing about working for somebody else is, if you leave that company, you lose your customers. Like, for instance, I had a friend who was working for a company doing email marketing, and when he left that company, he lost all of his clients. He was fantastic at building relationships and maintaining those relationships, but he could not build his list working with this company. And when he left, all those years of hard work were gone down the toilet. And now he's started his own company and is building his own list. What would have happened if he had started building his own list years ago instead of working for that company? It might have taken him a while to build his list and to become successful online doing what he was doing. But he would have had more fun doing it and he would have been more successful today. But now he has to start from scratch. Are you a night owl or are you a lark? Because if you're a night owl, you can work at night, and if you're a lark, you can work in the morning. Whereas if you're a lark and you do a night shift, you're going to be tired. Or if you're a night owl and you have to get up in the morning, you're also going to be tired. But when you work for yourself, you can get up early or you can go to bed late, you can do whatever the hell you want, and there's nobody there to care because it doesn't matter. Another pet peeve a lot of people who work in offices have is having to look busy. It doesn't matter if they're being productive, it doesn't matter if they're producing results, they just have to look busy because that's part of the office environment, that's part of the culture. It doesn't matter if you're being productive, it doesn't matter if you've already done everything you need to do. It doesn't matter if you've done more work than everybody else in the office. All that matters is that you look busy, because they want to know that you're working for all of the time that you're there. And that is completely illogical and kills your motivation to produce results. Also, I bet you love getting the train, don't you? People tend to spend at least 30 minutes on the train or on the bus or in their car going and coming from work. A lot of people get the train or the bus, and it's so depressing if you ever get the train or the bus at that time. Watching people, they're in such a negative state in the morning and in the evening. In the morning they look like they're going to a funeral, and in the evening they look like they've been to a funeral. It's so depressing. Whereas if you work for yourself, you save all of that time. You don't have to sit on the bus or the train or sit in traffic for an hour. And when you do choose to go into the city where you live, when you do choose to venture out, it will be when you want to. And so you can choose to go out when there isn't any traffic. There might be some traffic if you live in New York or London or Sydney or Tokyo or somewhere busy, but it won't be nearly as bad as it would be during the rush hour in the early hours of the morning or between 5 and 6 in the evening. And you can use that time to do something that you really want to do. There's extra hours that you can do whatever you want with. Do you ever have one of those days where you wake up and you just think, I just don't want to work today? You might be in a good mood, you might be in a bad mood, but you really don't want to work. You just want to relax. You might want to go to the beach, or you might want to go for a run, or you might want to go to the pub or go clubbing, or whatever it is that you like to do. It's so great because when you work for yourself, you can say, right, I want to have a day off today. You can just decide that you need to have a day off. And you can do that. Whereas if you work for somebody else, it's a bit difficult, because if you say, I can't come in today because I don't feel like working, you get sacked. So you have to pretend that you're sick. But if you work for yourself, you never have to pretend you're sick, because there's nobody to impress. There's nobody that you need to lie to. You need a break, you take a break. As long as you do that in a balanced way and you don't take a break every single day. I mean, some people do that, but obviously they probably wouldn't be very successful. So as long as you balance that and you don't do it too often, it can be really good. And the most fantastic thing, I reckon, about working from home is you have complete control over what you eat. The worst thing about working in a city is all that you can get is McDonald's, coffee, donuts, crappy food, if you can even call it food. But if you work from home, you can eat whatever you want. You can have a healthy sandwich, you can have healthy rice or chicken or fish or vegetables or whatever you want. And if you take your food into the office, you can eat something healthy, but it's not the same, because you probably get comments from other people, if you're a healthy person, saying, oh, why are you eating rabbit food or something? Whereas if you're eating at home, you won't have to deal with those comments, you won't have to deal with that stuff, and you can just have whatever you want and no one will care. Do you love wearing a suit? Do you love taking time to put on makeup if you're a woman? Because I don't. I like to just get up in the morning and wear whatever the hell I want. If I want to wear a dressing gown, I can wear a dressing gown. If I want to wear nothing, I can wear nothing. If I want to wear a suit just because I feel like it, I can wear a suit. I can wear whatever I want because I work from home. Whereas if you work in an office, you've got to make sure that you've got a shirt on and that you've got trousers or a skirt and all of this starched nonsense. And it's not really that comfortable. But if you can just work in your pyjamas or your dressing gown or whatever you want, you're so much more motivated to get things done, because you don't feel like you're being forced to conform to these stupid ideals. And some office environments allow their workers to wear whatever they want, and that's fantastic. But most people don't have that privilege.